Hello and welcome. I'm guessing you already read the title, so more or less you know what's going on here. That's right. Today, I'm doing a sketchbook tour. Now, full disclosure, I'm not really a big fan of sketchbooks because really and truly they usually feel bulky to draw in and they also feel so finite. For me, drawing in sketchbook turns the process of drawing into something to get done instead of something to enjoy. And more often than not, the whole process really just turns into a chore. That being said, I do think it's important to draw whether you enjoy it or not if your goal is to be an artist and create art in a way that is not just simply recreational. Then you have to engage in creating art. This art thing that we do should be fulfilling more than just entertaining. But that's just me. Anyway, that means it's gonna require some grit to get better, but I digress. When it comes to drawing, I don't usually draw in sketchbooks. If I'm drawing traditionally, my go-to mode of drawing is on a simple 8.5 by 11 multi-purpose piece of printer paper. When I'm done with this page, I can put it in a clear binder sleeve, put the binder sleeve in the binder, put the binder on the shelf, and everything's just really organized, and I can also make additions and subtractions to the binder as I feel necessary. But anyway, all that being said, I do buy sketchbooks every once in a while, just to challenge myself. This is a typical 8-inch by 5-inch sketchbook that you'll find at Michael's or your neighborhood Cheapo Depot. I use it to practice mostly, but I will take some of the drawings and try to create a digital illustration using these sketches. And sometimes I'll tape drawings that I did on printer paper and just put them in there. It really is just one big mess, but it's my mess. You'll find everything in this sketchbook, from life drawings and fan art and concept art, and anatomy studies, self-critiques, character designs, and really anything else I could think of practicing. For the most part, I only draw using pencils. I don't really like to ink traditionally, and I definitely don't like to color traditionally, except for watercolor and color pencils every once in a while. So, for the most part, I only draw using pencil. One more thing. If you see an R or an NR, that just lets me know if I used a reference for a particular sketch, or NR for no reference. I like to keep track of that. I don't think it matters, but I don't know, just FYI. By now, the sketchbook is a few months old, but I kind of like it. The first thing you'll notice when you look at my sketchbook is that I have a very graphic style. But at the moment, right now, in the year of our Lord 2023, I'm trying to cultivate two different styles. Most of the drawings in this sketchbook correspond to a comic book graphic artist style, but I'm also trying to get better at a more painterly rendered style. I think being able to do both will help add excitement and contrast and just overall spontaneity to my art. So I'm really just trying to cultivate these two styles, and I've amassed a mountain of tutorials and PDFs and videos and lessons to learn from in order to really accomplish that. I've also made sure to get a lot of art muses to help lead me in the right direction. I'm always interested in discovering new artists, so if you have a favorite artist, go ahead and share some of them in the comments below. Actually, now that I think about it, I'll probably do a whole video on my favorite artists, and maybe not my favorite artists, but different artists that inspire me. I'll add the link to the description of this video when that video comes out. And while I'm at it, now would be a good time to like and subscribe if you like the content you've seen so far and you want to stay up to date on the videos that I release. Back to the sketchbook. Like I said, I have a very graphic style. I like to take liberties when it comes to blocking in shadows and textures. For me, great art copies reality without mirroring it. So I like when artists represent a thing without rendering the thing itself. The amount that an artist turns the dial towards realism and representational art can, and most of the time does, affect how much I enjoy any particular artist. And it's not so much how real the art looks or how symbolic the art looks that defines how much I like it. It's more about where these decisions are made. Of course, the conversation surrounding different art styles is an endless one. It's not really a topic that I'll try to exhaust today, but that's my thought process as it relates to where I want my art style to go. In this sketchbook, there are many sketches. Some are fun, some are just experiments, some are just to practice. Some of them are just different studies, like anatomy studies or folds and rendering. You probably noticed by now that I don't draw from references a lot. And it's something I've been meaning to do more because I think it's gonna help me level up into the next stage of my art journey. Of course, leveling up as an artist is gonna take some discipline. And that's partially why I created this channel. I'm hoping to use this channel to stay accountable to my overall art goals while learning and teaching myself and just growing in general. Hopefully this channel will evolve into a place where we can discuss art in an entertaining way, possibly even educational. My goal as an artist has fluctuated a bit in the last year. I thought that I would want to focus my efforts into doing art commissions and living off art that I make for others, but I don't think I want to do that anymore. I'll do commissions every once in a while, but I'd rather work on my own projects. I'd rather make art for you without making art for you, if you know what I mean. So I shifted my efforts into learning how to draw and write comics and creating my own publishing company. And that really is a whole other skill that I have no talent for whatsoever, particularly being organized and meticulous and conscientious as it pertains to running a business, or even something seemingly simple like marketing and networking. I suppose when you have weaknesses, you have a few options. You could work hard on the weakness, or you could outsource the work. In this case, I think these problems are too fundamental to avoid. Even though you could probably hire a social media marketer and an editor, some type of liaison that interacts with the public. And now that I'm saying it out loud, that sounds actually kind of nice. Of course, you would have to pay all these people. And at this stage, I wouldn't want to pay anyone to do that. So that's not an option. Also, I think the process of learning these skills will help me become a more rounded person. So it's really just time to grind. And that being said, I know that since this is something I have no talent for, I'll really have to focus on learning these skills. Just talking about it is a chore, but you know what? I'll eventually get there. It's actually kind of interesting. Learning about these different aspects of business has helped me see deficiencies in my art. As of right now, I would say that I more or less like how I draw. I could make my figures more dynamic, and I could improve my use of perspective, and I could improve my backgrounds as well. I could probably improve my anatomy, and my knowledge of color theory. Wow, do I actually even like my art? Either way, I don't think that's my biggest weakness. I noticed my biggest weakness when I started learning about marketing and asking myself, why should anyone care or even interact with my art? That's when I realized there's no story in my artwork. I usually do drawings of people holding poses, but there's no narrative behind the drawing. I think that a lot of my favorite artists make you think about what's happening in the environment that the artist has constructed. And if not a literal story, it makes you wonder about the characters on the canvas, or it might even make you introspective. Or it might use interesting composition that turns the composition itself into a story. In order to build this skill, I've been trying out different courses and reading different books. The courses I'm taking are mainly from Schoolism, and in the future I'll probably make a review of Schoolism. But as a spoiler, some of the classes on there are really good, and they really improved my art and the way I make decisions while I'm drawing. But on the other end of the spectrum, there are some classes that feel like they're too long-winded and lessons are muddy and hidden in hours of exposition. But like I said, that's a topic for another video. Let me know if you have any good resources for improving storytelling in your art. Right now, I'm taking a class on storyboarding, and I'm trying to practice reverse engineering the storyboards from different movies and shows, and even books. At the very least, that'll give me some raw practice, and hopefully it'll help my mind transition to thinking about storytelling while I draw. I'll let you know how that goes. As for now, I think this sketchbook is coming to an end. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. This is just the first of many videos, so look forward to that in the future. All that being said, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, be safe, take care, and later days.